Objective Geology, multiple choice questions with answers. This is the solved question paper of Rajasthan Service Commission exam 2012, and I hope this solved question paper is useful for various competitive exams like CSR, NETGATE, GSI and other exams. Welcome to set 2. Coming to the first question. Beneath the oceans, the moho lies at a depth of, moho means mohorovisic discontinuity. So the choices are A, 7 to 9 kilometers, B, 10 to 12 kilometers, C, 14 to 16 kilometers, and D, 20 to 25 kilometers. So the correct option is 7 to 9 kilometers. Under the oceans, the mohorovisic discontinuity or moho, the boundary between the Earth's crust and the mantle, typically it lies at a depth of around 5 to 10 kilometers. So the correct option goes as A, 7 to 9 kilometers. Next question. The thickness of mantle is A, 500 kilometers, B, 1000 kilometers, C, 2900 kilometers, and D, 6371 kilometers. So the correct option is C, 2900 kilometers. The Earth's mantle, the layer between the crust and the core is approximately 2900 kilometers thickness. So C is the correct option. Next question. The mean radius of the Earth is, all these are the very simple questions. A, 5000 kilometers, B, 6371 kilometers, C, 2560 kilometers, and D, 4510 kilometers. The mean radius of the Earth is 6371 kilometers. B is the correct option. Next question. The focus of an earthquake is A, located directly above the epicenter, B, the location of the first breaking during fault rupture, and C, the point from which earthquake body wave propagates, and D, all of the above. So the correct option is D, all of the above. The focus is located directly above the epicenter, and it's the place or location where the first break of occurred during a fault rupture, and this is the point from which the earthquake body wave propagates. So D, all of the above is the correct option. Next question. An environmental impact assessment is A, required for all commercial activities, B, necessary to get government contract, C, an assessment of anticipated environmental consequences of a project area, and D, meaningless government red tape. So the correct option is EIA is environmental impact assessment is C, an assessment of anticipated environmental consequences of a project area. Next question. Most landslides are triggered by A, water, B, groundwater, C, earthquake, and D, rainfall. Obviously, C, earthquake is the correct option. Though earthquakes can trigger the landslides, they are not only the sole cause, but the other factors like rainfall, snow melt, and human activities also play a significant role. But most of the landslides are triggered by earthquake. C is the correct option. Next question. The most rapid of the Earth's cycle of change is A, carbon cycle, B, hydrological cycle, C, nitrogen cycle, D, Wilson cycle. So the most rapid of the Earth cycle of change is hydrological cycle. The hydrological cycle is also known as a water cycle. It is considered as one of the most rapid and dynamic of the Earth cycles of change, involving the continuous movement of water through various forms and location. Next question. Which of the following material makes up the largest percentage of municipal waste? A, plastics, B, glass, C, paper, and D, garden debris. So paper, it constitutes the largest percentage of municipal waste. Next question. La Nina refers to A, warming of the Eastern Pacific and the Indian Oceans, B, cooling of the Eastern Pacific Ocean, C, warming of the Western Pacific Ocean, and D, atmospheric disturbance. La Nina refers to cooling of the Eastern Pacific Ocean. So La Nina, this refers to the cold phase of the El Nino Southern Oscillation, ENSO. So this is characterized by unusually cold ocean surface temperatures in the central and the eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean, which is the opposite of the warm phase El Nino. So B is the correct option. Next question. The densest water in the world is associated with A, North Atlantic bottom water, B, South Atlantic bottom water, C, water occurring at the base of Mariana Trench, and D, Antarctic bottom water. So the correct option is Antarctic bottom water. So the densest water in the world, known as the Antarctic bottom water, AABW. So this is associated with the formation of sea ice in the Weddell Sea and Ross Sea around Antarctica, where cold, salty water, it sinks to the ocean floor. So the densest water in the world is associated with Antarctic bottom water. D is the correct option. Next question. Most efficient measure to prevent soil erosion in a watershed development would be A. Mulching, B. Construction of silt traps, and C. Afforestation, and D. Land modifications. The most efficient measure to prevent soil erosion in a watershed development would be afforestation. The efficient and sustainable measure to prevent the soil erosion is in a watershed development is establishing and maintaining a diverse and robust vegetation cover. So which includes planting trees, grasses, shrubs, as well as implementing practices like crop rotation and cover cropping. So the most efficient measure to prevent soil erosion in a watershed development would be afforestation. Next question. Coordinated use of surface and groundwater using techno-economic considerations is A. Consumptive use, B. Sustainable use, C. Conjunctive use, and D. Recycling. So the correct option is conjunctive use. Coordinated use of surface and groundwater. This is also known as a conjunctive use. It involves the planned and integrated management of both the resources to maximize efficient water resources utilization, considering both technical and economic aspects for sustainable water supply. So C, conjunctive use is the correct option. Next question. Defining characteristics of a wetland involve which of the following parameters? A. Hydrology, B. Soil type, C. Species composition. So the choices are A only, B only, C A and B, and D A, B and C. So the correct option is D, A, B and C. The characteristics of a wetland are indeed defined by interplay of hydrology, that is water dynamics, soil type, especially hydric soils, and the species, especially hydrophytes, so that thrive in these conditions. So the characteristics of a wetland involve hydrology, soil type, and species composition. D is the correct option. Next question. A river flow after monsoon period is termed as A. Underflow, B. Base flow, C. Overland flow, and D. Lamellar flow. River flow after monsoon period is termed as a base flow. The river flow that sustains after the monsoon period when direct runoff from the rainfall is minimal or absent is indeed referred as base flow. So B is the correct option. Next question. In the Gibbon-Hesban equation, the interface between the freshwater and seawater is 40 times the thickness of the freshwater column. A. Above the mean sea level, B. Below mean sea level, C. Below the ground level, and D. Below chart datum. So the correct option is below mean sea level. According to Gibbon-Hesban relationship, for every meter of freshwater above the sea level, there will be approximately 40 meters of freshwater below the sea level at the interface between the freshwater and the saltwater. So that's why B, below the mean sea level, is the correct option. Next question. The innermost shell of the earth is known as A. Crust, B. Core, C. Mantle, and D. Astrosphere. So obviously the correct option is B. Core. The innermost shell of the earth is known as the core, which is further divided into inner core and outer core. Next question. The chemical composition of mineral varieties is very simple and straightforward question. A. CaCO3, B. MgCO3, and B. BaCO3, and D. BaSO4. Chemical composition of mineral varieties is barium sulfate, that is BaSO4. D is the correct option. Next question. Which of the following is not a mineral of the feldspar family? A. Albite, B. Cerisite, C. Labradorite, and D. Oligoclase. So the correct option is B. Cerisite, whereas albite, it is a feldspar family, and labradorite belongs to feldspar, and oligoclase, all these are the feldspar family, but cerisite is a mica. So this is not a mineral of the feldspar family. So B is the correct option. Next question. The most abundant element in the Earth's crust is A. Hydrogen, B. Oxygen, C. Silicon, and D. Iron. So the correct option is B. Oxygen. The most abundant element in the Earth's crust is the oxygen. That's why the crust is also known as the oxysphere. Next question. Which of the following practices would have the biggest impact on achieving global sustainability? A. Using fuel efficient vehicles, B. Replanting deforested areas, C. Reducing human population size, and D. Cultivating more food crops. The practices which would have the biggest impact on achieving global sustainability is using fuel efficient vehicles, because using the fuel efficient vehicles, it has a significant impact on global sustainability by reducing greenhouse gas emissions, improving air quality, and decreasing reliance on the fossil fuels. Hope you have followed the content and the questions. See you in the next video. Hope you can like and subscribe.